Taurus, hi. We're going to do a general love reading today. As it's a general reading, it may not resonate for everyone. Probably won't actually. But if it does resonate for you, then there will be an extended reading that you can look for the information in the box below. I'm also taking personal readings now, so if you're thinking of that, the information for that is also in the box below. All right, I'm just going to get started here. I'm using the Llewellyn deck, and I'm doing a Celtic cross layout, which I like because it's very comprehensive layout. Also, the male and female cards in this refer to the masculine and feminine divine energies, and not, they're not gender cards. Okay, so they're interchangeable that way. Because we all have both the masculine and feminine divine energies in us. And it's finding the balance, I find quite often, between the two, that what we're seeking. All right, so let's take a look. Not all love readings, once again, are romance related, but we'll see where this one goes. As I say, I never know because, I'm focusing in on your cards. So we're starting off with the Strength card from the universe. And this is kind of like getting help overcoming some fears that are, in a worldly kind of way. The fears are always kind of in a worldly kind of way, It's like, well, what if? Well, what about? Well, that kind of stuff. I'm just going to do, and we've got the Ace of Swords showing up there. So this is kind of like using the Ace of Swords as your strength, but using the Ace of Swords, because it's got a crown on it, as a tool to propel you forward, to energize you, to excite you, to entice you into more and more truth and more probing and more discernment and looking, using it that way. Because you've got the Seven of Cups above you right now, so there's a lot of new possibilities opening up for you. And that may be why we've got the Strength card here, because, as you're approaching, and it's Cups, so as you're approaching opening up your heart, and once you open up your heart and kind of your, spiritual being, all of a sudden, it can be quite overwhelming because it's going to influence and penetrate into all areas of your life, right? And that's what I see here. So it's kind of looking at, it's exciting because it's kind of magical, and it's, it's like, whoa, this is really, it feels good. But it's a lot to do too. So I see the Knight of Swords in the past, so I kind of felt like, now remember, the Seven of Swords is an energy over you. So the Knight of Swords showing up in the past is like you're really seeking this new next part of your life that's showing up here, because you got the Fool showing up over here too. So I kind of feel like you're ready for it, and you're anxious for it, and you're just like, okay, bring it on kind of thing. And I think that's because you are getting the Strength card here and the Clarity here to guide you, that you feel well armed as you're moving into this, overwhelming new possibilities for you. You've got the Three of Wands and the Tower over you. So the Tower is really helping you right now open up two more possibilities, like the Seven of Swords, but also with the Three of Wands, it's opening up areas that you maybe were too afraid to see before or move into. You kind of had you brought your world in a very small kind of safe way. And now the Tower is coming in to crack some of that open and open up to the light, so that you can see, wow, there's more out in the world than I thought. Wow, look at this. So, so it's kind of like opening the world up for you. So it's not like scary that way. It's more, and especially with the Three of Wands on it, because you can see, all sorts of things coming your way, right? And you're at a perspective where you're kind of just observing it right now, like you are with the Seven of Cups. So you're moving into it here with the Eight of Swords showing up. So it's creating a lot of possibilities for you in terms of moving into kind of the chaos of life force, which is heart and passion and love, and and as I said, you kind of pulled your world in, from what I can see. And this is, kind of now moving into it in a way that you are trusting your intuition, and you're kind of cutting off the critical mind. The critical mind part, I think, is the part that built that small world, And now intuitively, I see it opening up for you, and you're beginning to, because it, the tower's there, so it kind of happened from the universe with you, and intuitively you kind of know that. Because I see the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles here. So you got 2 sevens there. You got 3 sevens, 7 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. So it's a pretty movement time. It's a contemplative time. It's it's a brand new beginning time. So the 7 of Pentacles, looking at where you've come from and what you've built that can help support you into this next move. 7 of Swords is moving from that small world that you felt like you had to protect yourself and keep others out kind of thing. So it was defensive. So it was kind of, how if there's a war, people, will, if you look at the old castle days, they closed the wall off, they closed the gate, and they made their world very small so they could be protected and stuff. And I kind of feel like that's what you did, but now you're moving beyond that. There's actual movement, so you're taking, moving out of that kind of place where you had to defend yourself and moving beyond that. And still keeping, the stuff that served you well. And that's the same with the 7 of Pentacles, and it's the same with the 7 of Cups, right? So in all areas, because you've got Swords, Pentacles, and Cups all, ready for further development kind of thing. And you've got the Temperance card here. So the Temperance is about, being able to go deeper now into the flow of life, which is, the well, the source of like we have here in the Eight of Swords. So the source of life is love and your heart and passion and spirituality. So that's what the Temperance is now opening up more for you as you move out of the protective zone. Then you've got the Star down here. So being guided now by the stars, by if you the fact you're doing this reading with me right now, you're kind of surrendering to, not surrendering with, working with the knowledge that's coming from the universe. So there's a certain design for you there, there's a certain guidance that's coming for you there, and I think, and you're consciously aware of it, because you've got the 9 of Swords over here beside you in your subconscious, and it's been exhausting, and that cycle's now coming to an end. It's been absolutely exhausting for you by, when you were in that small world. And, maybe, your intention was because you were seeking protection, but the truth is it created a lot of anxiety for you because you were closing off yourself to your own forces of nurturing and nourishment and spiritual energy coming your way and stuff like that. And you were, so closing that off and just feeling like, I have to do this all alone, I have to do it, I have to do this, I have to do this, created a lot of anxiety. But luckily that cycle is now coming to an end, and I see you moving more and more with the Page of Pentacles. Already the beginning of new opportunities of knowledge are already coming to you as this new cycle closes off and the next one begins. As the old cycle closes off and the next one begins here with this Page of Pentacles. So opportunities already coming your way, and that can even be job opportunities, can be relationship opportunities. It can be, like that kind of new sense of your home versus that small home now opening up in a much faster way. You've got the Fool in the environment around you and the Emperor. So this is the beginning of you moving more into the Emperor energy, which is much more, like I say, if you go back to the Three of Wands, kind of a sense of responsibility. So moving more into that sense of responsibility for yourself and for your empire and for, if you have kids or whatever, things like that. In a different way, though, in a way that you feel competent, you feel like you've got a lot of knowledge, you feel, like you're in a good position to take on this role. So that's what I see kind of happening here. And this can even be in the form of not just you, but another person coming into your life. Because this person's alone, so the partnership between the masculine and feminine. Because of the Temperance card here and the Keeper of the Well, so that's more the feminine. And then I can see the masculine energy coming in here. So sharing that responsibility. And I think that's part of where you're heading as the Fool into this next part of your life. Because I'm seeing commitment show up big time here. in the Four of Wands. So really committing to feeling, celebrating that you have found your place that you're looking for. As I say, the cycle of you doing it alone has come to an end with that anxiety and stuff. And now I kind of see you opening up to sharing that with you being, the intuitive and then the action taker put together, right? And the wisdom of both. And moving into that. In a position of what you want is the Queen of Pentacles. And remember, these are not male or female. This is about the feminine energy. So kind of feeling very grounded in your feminine energy is in a position of what you want. And so from that place, I can now move forward to engaging with the Emperor, to moving into a partnership, because I really want to feel very centered in, that strong feminine energy. All right, and then as I said, the outcome is definitely about that place that you've been kind of moving towards and looking for, where commitment can actually exist. Okay, so I'm going to leave it now, because I'm going to look further into what this Four of Wands looks like and who's there, and maybe get some more clarity on as you move into this new path with the Emperor there. We'll take a look at that in the extended. So if this did resonate for you, then I invite you to move on to the extended, where we can take this reading further. At any case, I'm going to draw an oracle now from the Wisdom of Avalon, and we've got the Deer here. And the Deer is about gentleness and diplomacy. Now remember I said with the Keeper of the Well being the strong feminine source of life, on an intuitive kind of emotional level. So if you put those two together, this is moving more with the feminine energy, which is the gentleness and diplomacy, and combining it with, the masculine energy, which is a different kind of wisdom and knowledge, based on experience in the material world. So you're putting the two together, which is awesome. And then you've got the Fool there, so I think that's where you're heading on this next part. All right, we'll leave it at that. And Taurus, we'll see you next week. And I'll be moving on to do the extended now.